Happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome to All Things Creepy with Ghostly Travels. Tonight's episode is presented by Black Caesar Pirate King. Tonight's guest, we have Travis Shortt. He will be joining us, and I look forward to having him on. Tonight it's just Lee. So sit back, let's have a great hour. Talk to our guest. And guys, if you have any questions to our guest, feel free to write them in and I will ask. I hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. I look forward to this. I'm excited today, guys. I got before the guest arrives, they'll be joining us here in 9 minutes. I got a promotion at work. I'm very excited. It was official today that you're talking to now the business partner success advocate. Okay. So it's a new title, and I'm trying to take it all in, but it's a big deal. So I'm blessed and honored to have this position, and going to be a fun thing at work. But tonight, I guess Travis Shortt, so he'll be joining me here in a little bit. What can we talk about first? Well, this week we head to New Jersey to see family, and so that's exciting. Last weekend, guys, let's talk about Saturday. Let's talk about the Bell Mansion public hunt that we did. Roger, how are you? Thank you. Thank you for that, buddy. I was just reading it. We were at Fort Wayne, Indiana at the Bell Mansion, and we had a pretty big group. We had 18 people, so we split them up into two groups. And it's Patty and I, and we had Bob and Denise join us, and from North Central Indiana Spirit Seekers. And it was great to have them. Love to investigate with them when we can. And they joined us this past Saturday, so it was great to connect again. I experienced something very cool in the basement. I saw this man standing by the dollhouse. If you guys have been there, you know what I'm talking about. There's a dollhouse in the basement, and I saw him standing behind it, which was cool. I think everybody had a good time, the event. It's a 101. So we were talking about paranormal. We were talking about all different topics of paranormal. And then, people got to walk around and check out the building. And so we went from there to the investigation, and an interesting night. They had pizza and soda, and, we had a really good time. So, so that was that. You guys know that Patty and I are affiliated with another team out of Fremont, Ohio, Orbs, Carlo's team. We formed back in spring. We formed Entity Explorers. We are filming for YouTube, Amazon Prime, Roku, and many, many others. So we just did Pine Lawn Manor a few weeks ago. And then we will be in 2 weeks. We will be in Middle Bass Island, which is a little island outside of Put-in Bay in Lake Erie. We'll be investigating the oldest house there in the island. So that's going to be fun. September 19th, guys, season 1 will be released. So go over to YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, go over to Entity Explorers, subscribe, and you'll be seeing some great content, our ways of doing paranormal, and how we truly bring para-unity together when we bring two guests on to investigate with us, and we have a twist at the end that you guys will love it. So stay tuned for that. It's a fun. We look forward to doing those. August 31st, Labor Day weekend. Patty and I will head over to Indiana State Sanatorium to meet up with friends, Jenny Davis, to investigate there. I'm excited about that one. Never been. Look forward to it. And going to be fun. Trying to get in some things before we get started, and bear with me. Let me reply to Travis here. Sorry, I do apologize. So I'm looking forward to this. We have a lot going on. Guys, I was outside. Let me tell you this. I was outside watering my flowers today, and I noticed that the change is happening. Fall is coming, right? It's not far behind us. And I'm not ready for that. I mean, everybody looks forward to different seasons of the year or different times of the year. Yeah, I love paranormal. I love fall. But I don't like to wish my life away. So I like to take it easy and slow. You know what I'm saying? Easy and slow. So, yes. Let me get this, guys. Sorry. There we go. So, want to make sure that he's got the right link. Roger asked, "You're going to investigate anywhere while you're in?" No, we're not going to. Paranormal is going to be left here. Equipment and all that's going to be left here. This is a time to get with family because Patty doesn't get to see her family that much. So it's just going to be family bond parties, hanging out at the pool, seeing family, and things like that. So no paranormal this trip. We'll be gone Thursday through Monday. So just laid back. I need a vacation from work, so I'm looking forward to it. Our big vacation is in November. We head to Aruba. We go to Aruba once a year with Patty's brother. So that's fun and exciting. And so no paranormal because when we get back the next weekend, we're going to be right into paranormal. So a lot going on. And I hope everybody has had a great week. And so far, this week, it seems like this past weekend flew by, guys. I don't know about you, but it was super fast. And by the way, while I'm thinking about it, I do have opening dates. So if you know anyone or if you want to be on the show, please reach out to me. Private message me. I'd love to have you. Last week we had Jody Cook. That was a phenomenal interview. This one, Travis Shortt. Then August 19th, we have Closer to the Veil. So that is Ashley Reed's team. But we have openings the 26th, September 2nd. It's penciled in. I don't want to share that one yet. September 9th, the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th. So love to have you guys. So if you're interested, just reach out to me and we'll go from there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring Travis in. He's here. Welcome, my friend. I think you got your mic muted.
Yes, apparently I was muted. How are you?
Good. How are you, my friend?
Oh, busy as ever, and glad to be on the show.
Good. Well, yeah, I was trying to answer your message. My page is public. All Things Creepy is public. We're streaming on Spotify right now as well, and we're streaming on YouTube. Paravision's Paranormal Society.
Okay.
So we're everywhere at the moment.
We're omnipresent.
Right. Absolutely. So, guys, welcome Travis Shortt. I've known Travis now for over 20 years. Easy.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. Met him through a dear friend of ours, Bill Bean.
Yep.
And Travis is a director of public relations and events at London Laurel County Tourist Commission. He's the owner and the founder at Phoenix Publicity Promotions and PR. He's a jack of all trades, actually.
Master of none.
That's the same here. I still have to look stuff up on YouTube to see how to do it.
Yep. Exactly. It's like,
Thank God for YouTube.
I've done a little bit of everything, and I haven't really done good at anything. But it's quantity over quality at this point.
Right. Roger says hi. He's a good friend of ours.
Hey, Roger.
And he asks, "Are you going to have any UFO people on?" Absolutely. That's why this podcast, guys, is called All Things Creepy. So it can be anything. It can be all walks of paranormal. It can be your experiences, an occurrence, if you was abducted, whatever it was. Like I said at the beginning, Travis, this episode is presented by the Black Caesar Pirate King. And so just wanted to put that out there, guys. And so, Travis, whatever you want to talk about, the stage is yours, my friend.
Well, ask me a question and I will address it.
Well,
I love the fact that one of the things that I find very interesting is that the paranormal field is not really individual pods, but they're actually interrelated in some form.
Right.
Absolutely. UFOs, Bigfoot, hauntings, poltergeist, demonic possession, all of these things actually kind of cross boundaries. They kind of cross-pollinate, if you will.
Right.
So over the years, I've looked into a lot of things. Of course, very well. My main area of expertise is the Mothman.
Right.
And specifically the original sightings. Nothing really in the current years, even though I do keep up with it, but the original sightings, we did it. Charlie McCracken, Matthew Fleming, and I did the first feature-length documentary on the Mothman called Dark Wings, the Mothman Messenger. And we had a great time there in Point Pleasant, got to know a lot of the great folks. Actually went back for the first time last September. That was the first time that I'd been back to Point Pleasant in about, let's see, that would have been 2009 would have been my last year. I was there in 2024. So what is that, 16 years? Yeah. About 16 years. Going back this year and hoping that you and Patty and maybe some of the other folks can come down and meet us for the day. My cousin, Matthew Fleming, who was the executive producer of the documentary, is planning on coming up. So it's going to be a fun time. But, I have spent my entire life in some form or fashion investigating the supernatural. I don't consider myself a paranormal investigator as much as I consider myself a paranormal researcher. I love the research part of it. I love the history. I love what makes a location or an event what it is. And so that's one of the main goals, and that's what we did with Mothman there at Point Pleasant. Was we went back to the very roots. We interviewed the original eyewitnesses, and we outlined everything that had happened. And we really, with that, we wanted to show the resilience of humanity, because you're talking about a little town in West Virginia of about 5,000 people, and they still have the same number of residents today that they did in 1967 and 1968. It's never grown. They lost a main thoroughfare with the collapse of the Silver Bridge. So there was this economic boom that had to happen. There was this resilience of the human nature. Everybody had to, come to grips with what was happening in Point Pleasant for those 13 months. And we had a great time telling that story about how that some people rebounded, some people had serious problems with it. And it was really kind of we looked at it from a psychological, a spiritual, and a socioeconomic standpoint of what was happening and going on there in Point Pleasant during those 13 months when Mothman was seen.
And I think up to this day, I'm sure a lot of people watched Mothman Prophecy, all these documentaries. Yes. They cross that bridge going into Point Pleasant, and they look up to see if they can see himself.
Yes. It was funny. We went last year. Angela and I went, and it was her first time going to Point Pleasant, and so and it's amazing to me how the festival itself has grown. I mean, when we were going between 2003 and 2009, there were about 6 years where we were going, and we were filming and we were presenting and showing the work in progress and things like that. There was this total surprise on my part, because once we got to Point Pleasant on the interstate, we were being directed off. We were being told where to park, and that wasn't the case in 2003. You could go anywhere, you could park anywhere, but this event has grown exponentially in the past 22 years. And so the entire main street of Point Pleasant was shut down from end to end. There were booths, there were vendors, there were presenters, there were speakers. It was really, really cool to see how that this has taken off and taken on a life of its own since 2001. So we're talking, this year will be the 24th anniversary of the Mothman Festival, and Jeff Wamsley and a great number of other people there in Point Pleasant have done just an excellent job of keeping the story out there and keeping the Mothman mythos continuing.
Roger said he'll be there this year.
Excellent. We will see you there.
Yeah.
I may have on the Hawaiian shirt and the sunglasses that I have on tonight.
And you can get you a Mothman burger or Mothman pizza.
The Mothman burger is excellent. The Mothman pizza there at the Village pizza place, absolutely excellent. You know, I took my daughter just turned 21, so 5 years ago. On her 16th birthday, the only thing that she wanted to do was go to Point Pleasant, West Virginia. So I took her and a bunch of her friends to Point Pleasant, and we retraced the work that I had done between 2003 and 2009. And we went and had the pizza and had a great time, and all of her friends loved it. And it was one of the fondest memories that I have right now.
Oh yeah, to share that with your kid, you know.
Yeah, it's absolutely. You know, it was just so much fun to watch her and her friends and to see them, experience Point Pleasant and the whole Mothman phenomena. We didn't go during the festival. We went in July. Her birthday is July 7th, so we went in July. And it was hot, and it was humid, and God, it was yucky. But we still had a good time.
Did you guys go to the bunkers?
Did we go where?
To the bunkers there.
I took them out to the TNT. We did not go to the bunkers.
Okay.
I did take them out to the TNT area. I also took them out. I would not go on the premises, but I took them out to where the Lake State Hospital had been erected back in the 1920s, which was on the front of the building. It's no longer there now, and actually you can't even tell that anything ever was erected on this piece of property.
Right.
It's right across from the female federal prison, but it was the Lake State Hospital for the mentally insane colored boy. That was what was engraved on the building, and so I took them out to show them the property.
Sure.
But I had my own experiences there. And that was one of those things that Bill Bean and I discussed and helped me with, because there was something that had actually attached itself to me, and I'm pretty sure that it came from that particular piece of property. There was so much negativity, so much evil, so much hatred, so much malicious feelings, and it had attached itself to me, and so Bill and I were able to work through that. But Point Pleasant is still, it's one of my favorite places to go. It's a great destination. I encourage anybody, if you get the chance. It is September, I think, 18th and 19th, or 19th and 20th. I can't remember. It's because I have my own festival the following weekend. The Chicken Festival here in London, Kentucky, is the 25th through the 28th.
So yeah, it would be Fridays the 19th and the
19th and 20th.
Yeah.
So it's September 19th and 20th.
Right.
If you're in driving distance, I would strongly encourage you to go. It's a great time.
Check it out, guys.
Check it out.
Roger asked the question for you.
Yeah.
He goes, you said you investigated mostly Point Pleasant in your investigations. Do you come to a conclusion about if there was a Mothman, or could it have been something else? What do you think?
I will be extremely and brutally honest and transparent. My opinion about the Mothman sightings in Point Pleasant have changed over the years. I started out thinking that it was ultra-terrestrial, a being from another dimension, and then I worked my way through that to that it was something demonic, and then I worked my way to the point where that I was like, well, maybe it's not that, maybe it's just an entity that certain people see. And actually John Keel, when he wrote the book, he made this very, very plain that he felt that the Mothman was one of these entities that existed and operated and reverberated on a different spiritual plane than we do, and only certain people are able to see it. And I have to say, I basically come to the conclusion that I can't tell you what Mothman is. I do believe 100% that people saw something. Oh, yeah. They experienced something, and they have dealt with it in multiple ways. We interviewed countless of the original eyewitnesses. We talked about things. We let them tell their story, and we did it actually for the documentary in a very 60 minutes kind of style. It was just the camera, me, and the individual. There were no cuts. There was no panning. It was just us talking, and they told their story in their words. And they were all very, very adamant about the fact that they had experienced something, they had dealt with something, and they were still trying to come to grips with what that was and how that was impacting their lives. And some people dealt with it through alcoholism, some through drugs. There were a few individuals that had committed suicide. It was a tragic story that unfolded as we delved into those events of Point Pleasant in 1966 and 1967.
Now, and I'm going to add to that, some, just like we were talking to Jody Cook last week about Bigfoot, Dogman, Wolfman, it could be a deterrent too. Just like they say, some people think that Bigfoot is a deterrent from the government to keep us distracted. It could have been some sort of that incident. We don't know. Just like Jody said that he was talking at a Salt Fork at a Bigfoot conference, and that he was talking to a retired agent, and he said he comes up to Jody and they're talking, and he said, I listened to your presentation, and I remember when you were addressed by some agents multiple times in the past because you knew too much.
Yes.
And Jody goes, well, can I ask you? He says, is it something that you guys are making up? Is it a deterrent? Is it something that you guys created and released? And he goes, I can't really tell you that. But he goes, I will tell you this. He goes, we can interfere. We can make whatever we want to happen. He goes, even for ghost hunters, when they're out, if we're close by, we can change the frequencies to where they sound like they're listening and talking into a ghost. And that got me thinking. I'm like, man, it's like, wow. But we don't know, because you got to think about this. The government and the military, they're 20 years ahead in intelligence technology, right?
Yep.
So it's just amazing.
It is, and it is one of those things that.
That was just weird because you know what just popped up on my screen over here behind the scenes?
What's that?
It said All Things Creepy was having a difficulty with recording this for a few seconds as I was just talking about that. Imagine
that does not surprise me. I have done numerous interviews about Mothman, and Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie, and then other shows, and it never fails. There's always some kind of technical problem.
Right.
Bill and I, Bill Bean, that you mentioned earlier, he and I were doing a show, and everything shut down. I was doing a show in Australia with another mutual friend between me, you, and Bill in the paranormal world, and we recorded a 2-hour session. The first hour was perfect. The second hour, totally gone. Had to go back and redo.
Isn't that amazing?
Redo the entire interview. And so I've gotten used to that. It happens quite a bit when talking about Mothman. And again, I always say that the whole term Mothman is actually a misnomer. It was actually coined by an AP reporter who was covering the stories, and Adam West's Batman was a great show in 1966, 1966.
Oh yeah,
and the reporter kind of jumped on this whole thing of Mothman, but if you actually talk to the eyewitnesses, what they saw was nothing like a moth. Linda Scarberry, who was one of the original eyewitnesses at the TNT area there in November of 1966, she described what she saw as a tall, slender, muscular male, ashen in color, with angel-like wings protruding out of his back and glowing red eyes. That was her description. That is how she described Mothman. And it's very different than any of the images that you see that are portrayed and even in the documentary that we did. We took a little bit of liberty because we took all of the eyewitness reports from everywhere, and there were multiple eyewitness accounts from multiple counties in West Virginia, and they were all happening at the same time, which is why I actually posited the theory during one of my presentations there in Point Pleasant that there wasn't a Mothman, there were Mothmen. There were multiple identities and entities that were manifesting themselves in Point Pleasant during that time. And it's one of those things, some people scoff at it, some people accept it. But I think when you look at the eyewitness reports, they all basically have the same description. There are certain variations that are different. Height differs, coloring differs, and sometimes there was, were they wearing clothes? Were they not wearing clothes? All of those things they're suspect, but they're also very, very typical of a quick eyewitness report. We saw this is what it looked like. And you have to take into account, the number of times that the sightings occurred, where they saw them, what the lighting was, all of those things.
Now, was there sightings across the country with Mothman?
There have been since Point Pleasant.
Because I thought there was one in New York City.
New York City during the, and again, it's one of those pictures that we had investigated, and we could not find it to be faked, but it was during 9/11. There was supposedly a winged entity that was flying between the Twin Towers. We have the photograph. We've submitted it to different individuals for their professional investigation.
Right.
you had sightings in Wise County, Tennessee. Sorry, Texas. I'm in so many states, I don't even know where I am anymore.
You're bouncing around.
Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Texas.
One of those.
I know, it's one of those. Choose one. In Wise County, Texas, actually, which ironically is also the site or the county where one of the first UFO crashes supposedly happened 50 years before Roswell.
Oh.
So we looked into that. There have been numerous sightings in Chicago, Illinois right now. Good friend of mine, and I'm sure you know him, Lon Strickler, follows this extremely closely. And he has, there have been numerous accounts of these winged entities that are manifesting themselves there in Chicago and the greater Illinois area.
Roger said also 2 sightings. Gary, Indiana, and Michigan have both been sightings. That's close to home, Gary, Indiana. But
so everybody's asked me if I've ever seen Mothman. No, I have not. I've never.
No, you know what? After an investigation, after we're done and we're driving home, and it's 3, 4, 5 in the morning, I always am watching around. Not just for the deer, but what if something like Dogman, Mothman, Bigfoot came crossing the street? That would just put icing on the cake. I'm like, good Lord, if I can capture something like that.
I honestly, there's part of me that wants to experience it, and there's part of me that doesn't want to experience it.
Right. I'm with you. I don't know if I want
to. There's that, there's still a part of me that is very much a journalist at heart. So I want to, get to the heart of the matter. I've been asked several times when I've done shows, what got me interested in the paranormal and the supernatural. Well, what got me interested was waiting up on Friday nights when my dad was working in the coal mines, and he would come home at 11 or 12 o'clock, and on CBS late night, they would run Kolchak the Night Stalker with Darren McGavin. News reporter, always found himself investigating supernatural, paranormal events. And that's what got me really interested. And then it grew out of that to where that I was searching out documentaries, In Search Of with Leonard Nimoy from the 1970s.
Right.
And then other documentaries that were being produced in the late 70s and the early 80s. And they're still on my YouTube watch list. I mean, if you go to my YouTube watch list, it's like, we don't even know what this man does. Sometimes it's religion, sometimes it's music, sometimes it's supernatural, it's Bigfoot, it's this.
It's all over the map.
Who is this person and what are they doing? So it's kind of fun to screw with the algorithms that way.
Absolutely.
But there's part of me that would like to see and experience. Now, I always go back also to when I was a child, and I'm the oldest out of 4. And this was before any of my siblings were born. So I would have been 3, maybe 3.5. And I was in the back seat of my parents' car. And we were driving across a mountain in Virginia, between my hometown is Clintwood. We had been in Coburn, Virginia, and we were driving across Coburn Mountain, as it was aptly named, since it was between Clintwood and Coburn. And I remember laying in the back seat and looking out of the back window and seeing this really bizarre shaped object in the sky, and it was just glowing, and it was almost a geometrical kind of shape, and it, not a pyramid or a triangle, but it was like if every geometrical image in your head could become one, that was kind of what it was.
That's what you saw.
Yeah, and I laid there in the backseat of the car seeing this and watching it, and that got me really interested in UFOs, and then I got interested in alien abductions, and then Area 51. been there multiple times, been chased off by the security guards multiple times.
Now, did you hear about Area 51 about a few months ago? There was a big fire around there.
There was a big what?
Fire.
No, I did not.
Yeah. Saw it on CNN for a short split second. Because when all this COVID was going on, they started releasing all of this stuff that we're talking about. And I'm like, guys, aren't you seeing between the lines all this stuff that they're finally releasing?
Mm-hmm. I did not see that one.
And there's nothing you can find on it unless you're out there, of course.
Yeah. And Charlie McCracken, my business partner at the time, best friend, we went out several times. We ate at the Little Alien numerous times. By the way, if you're ever out in Rachel, Nevada, hit the Little Alien. Some of the best food and coldest beer you're going to get anywhere.
That's my kind of places.
But we drove out and we got chased off by the security guards. And of course, there's this sign when you drive out to Area 51 that says, anybody who basically trespasses will be shot, arrested, or fined $5,000. And when we went
Make your mind up. Which one is it?
Well, when we went out there, I just looked at Charlie and I said, well, they better shoot us because I ain't got $5,000.
I know.
Yeah, so
I don't want to stay in no cell.
Yeah, just count me as MIA.
Right. Just start running towards them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's see here.
We did have some.
How you doing, Holly?
We did have some fun out there with the security trucks and the Jeeps and all that.
Oh, yeah. They mean business, buddy.
Oh, they do. They do.
Yeah. Awesome. Right. I watched that a documentary, and it was last year, but boy, they mean business now. Yeah, there's so far you can go, and that's it. Don't cross that line. Roger says the Thunderbird I saw was in northern West Virginia up in the mountains. It was sitting, and it was 6 feet tall, jet black. That's new. I didn't know anything about the Thunderbird.
Yeah, the Thunderbird is actually one of those Native American totems that often gets thrown into the Mothman mythology.
Okay.
I'm not opposed to that theory. I'm still, as I've said, mm-hmm. I'm not really sure where I stand right now with what these Mothman sightings were. I know they were real.
Yeah.
I don't deny that beyond.
Well, I mean, when you interview people, these down to earth people, mm-hmm. that those type of people would not lie what they saw on their land or off in afar. They're going to tell you exactly. And that when you know a true person telling the truth.
Well, and we experienced that with Linda Scarberry. It took us months of coaxing and talking to her on the phone to get her to meet us. And again, she was one of the original eyewitnesses at the TNT area mm-hmm. In 1966. And when we met her at the Mothman Museum, which was a much smaller location than it is now. It's actually grown and become much more. It's easier to access and
right.
And view all of the artifacts and things like that. But she met us at the museum, and we ended up driving her daughter, and her son-in-law out to the TNT. And we went to the area where the original sightings occurred. And I was driving. At the time, I had a Honda Odyssey minivan. Charlie McCracken was in the passenger seat. Linda and her daughter and her daughter's husband were in the back seat. And I was just watching in the rearview mirror, and I was watching as we kept driving. And the TNT is about 10 miles outside of Point Pleasant, give or take. And I was watching in the rearview mirror, and the closer that we got to the TNT,
you could tell the change in them.
The change in Linda I was watching it happen in the rearview mirror. She was hunkering down. She was holding herself. She was shaking. And we got there, and it was very difficult to do the interview. And actually, in the documentary film, there's a scene that Charlie put in where that she and I are just walking the perimeter, of the county fairgrounds, which is what's there today. And what I'm doing is just comforting and just talking and just,
Sure.
we're sharing stories and getting her comfortable. And then we come back and we do the interview. And you can see the tears well up. She's terrified. She's horrified at what she experienced. And her husband at the time, Roger, we tried and tried to get him to come on camera because everybody has heard Linda's story and there are other eyewitnesses, but Roger has never gone on record. He's never done an interview. And we even offered to do the interview just to get it on some form of permanent media.
Right.
And then we would give it, and then we were going to give it back to him. We were going to let him have it and hold on to it until he passed away. He would never come on camera. He was so terrified about what happened the night he said he never wanted to talk about it again.
Wow. And too, some people are afraid that something can happen to him again.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because any of this kind of stuff, if you see an alien, if you make eye, like they say, if you look up in the sky, sometimes people swear that if a UFO is going by and it catches you, it's like, yes. It stops, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's creepy because your body starts to feel this change. And I'm like, nah, man, I don't know. But I did investigate one night in a cemetery in a town here called Lebanon. And we were in a cemetery. It was me and another guy. And we're investigating on the hillside, very old pioneer cemetery. And it's 2, 3, somewhere in there in the morning. Clear stars everywhere. From the south coming north was this big green ball, and behind it was this big jet stream of green.
Yep.
Coming towards us. So as we turned and looked, it like literally stopped, like, and it stood. It felt forever, but it's probably like split 3 seconds. The thing turned around and shot like a big line of green and gone. Now, what was that to do it? You know what I'm saying? I was like,
nope.
I don't know. But here's the thing today. Everybody has these, right?
Yep.
Everybody's looking down. They're not looking up. They're not looking around. There could be so much,
Yep. There's, we're a civilization, a society that is so preoccupied that we're not actually paying attention to what's around us.
Right.
And that's not just the supernatural or the paranormal. That's everything. I mean, we're missing out on relationships. We're missing out on conversations. We're missing out.
We're missing out on our families because we're focused into the first thing you do when you wake up is you look at your phone.
And the last thing you do before you go to sleep, you look at your
looking at your phone. And here's another thing. We were just talking about this with a group of people. When you're sitting at a restaurant or wherever you are and a phone rings and that's not your ringtone, but you still grab your phone. It's that time. Sure, I'll check my phone.
Yep. We're more distracted. We have more ways right now to capture
if we use
anomalies and supernatural and paranormal phenomena, but we're not doing it because we're too busy being sucked into it.
Right.
And we're sucked into the phone, and we're sucked into the laptop, and we're sucked into the tablet, and we're sucked into this, and we're sucked into that. And I feel hypocritical because, part of my job is dealing with social media and posting and doing things. But at the same time, there's overload.
True.
Angela and I try at least once a month to do an unplugged weekend where there's no phone, there's no tablet, there's no laptop.
And that's a good idea.
There's nothing. We just enjoy each other's company. We may go to the country club and lay by the pool. We may play golf. It's just, but I think you have to do that.
Yeah.
And I think, in that same regard, going back to what you were saying, we have all of these ways to capture things, but we're not paying attention. We're not looking.
No,
we're simply, we actually have become marionettes. Everybody pulls our string and we go along with whatever is happening.
Whatever is happening at that time, that's what we're focused on.
That's what we're focused on.
Right.
And I think that's a huge problem that we're going to have to deal with.
Right.
Not in future generations, but in this generation. I mean, hell,
this is just the beginning.
I know. I mean, my dad is 76 years old, and I'll call him sometime and say, "Dad, I need some advice." He says, "Oh, let me YouTube it." I'm like, "What?
Yeah, let me YouTube.
I can do that. I'm calling you for advice.
I want some your advice. Something that you heard growing up, right?
I'll YouTube it and get back with you. Okay.
Right. Well, now they don't YouTube it; they just chat GPT it.
Don't get me started.
Because now that's how people do their emails. How do I send this email? People use it at work. How to chat GPT their email.
I know. I actually wrote a paper on it in graduate school, exposing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am not a technophobe at all. I love technology. But I know for a fact that the industry that I am part of, which is media, it's radio, it's television, it's all of these things. We are lazy by nature. If we can find some way to cut a corner,
we're going to do it.
We're going to do it. And ChatGPT is that particular avenue.
Right. I mean, because all you got to do is just type in what you want. And let that generate whatever your little heart desires. It's going to pop it up. And a lot of people, because I got an email from someone at work, and I'm like, "Did you even read this?"
I didn't. Well, it was funny when I was in grad school last year. Well, before I graduated, it was December before I graduated. One of my cohort, he had written a paper and he had used AI to help him write the paper. Now, the problem was that one professor that he had, and I had the same professor, encouraged students to use AI and ChatGPT things.
Right.
The particular class that he was in, that professor did not want them using ChatGPT or AI.
Because that was like cheating.
And he got called before the honor court. And, it was up in the air whether he was going to be allowed to graduate or not, because he was doing what one professor told him to do explicitly. Right. I was in the same class. I heard the professor say, "Do this, use it, take it, make it a tool that you use." And, this other professor did not want it. And I find it hilarious that, we are actually, we're living in the days of, shoot. It's been a long day.
Trust me, I know.
A long day. We're living in a day where that we are allowing technology to actually, I saw a story the other day about Elon Musk and his new robots that are supposed to be in everybody's home.
They're going to be on the streets before you know
it. They'll be on the streets. They're going to be driving. And I'm like, if James Cameron didn't teach us anything in the Terminator movies, he taught us not to trust robots.
Right. See, here's the thing, everybody, and I hate to say this, everybody's lazy. We're in our own lazy state of mind.
We are.
So let technology do it, just like these McDonald's drive-thrus where there's nobody working in the building. It's all robotic.
Yep. It's funny. There's a sushi and hibachi place in Wise, Virginia, that my son wanted to go to. So a couple of years ago, I took him, and the only reason he wanted to go was because they had
the robots
that served you.
Right, they sure do. Yeah.
No, they don't. They kept screwing up. They would, they didn't work. They would spill the tray. They would walk into a wall.
Yeah. We have a few restaurants here that's doing it now. Skyline Chili,
which I know is one of your favorites.
Right, and Ford's Garage, they have robots that bring your food, do all that for you. But I did when Patty and I were there. It wasn't Fort Scott. Sorry, it was another. It was right next door. Can't remember the name. It's some cowboy bar down here in Liberty Center, New Mall, and it messed up the orders because the lady goes, "This isn't our order." So she's like following the robot back to the kitchen.
Yep. Same kind of thing.
Yeah. Like, so she was trying to put the trays back on the conveyor, but the conveyor wasn't letting her do it. It kept pushing it out.
Like we're one step closer to the Jetsons, but we're also not quite there.
We're not quite there yet, right?
Okay. Not yet.
Well, and two, you know what? It's just going to hurt. It's just going to hurt society when there's no jobs because we've relied on robots, technology, and what are you going to do when there's no job? And because what you can do, they can get a robot to do for what 10 to 20 people can do.
Exactly. And I've made this argument. Again, I'm not a technophobe. I love technology.
Oh, I love technology, but I'm not. I can't go into depth of it. I just show me what it does, and that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I've gone on record on several times saying, look, I know for a fact right now, I used to manage radio stations and properties all over Kentucky. Right now, ChatGPT, AI, they're doing weather forecasts. They're doing
it all.
They're doing the voiceover work. You're putting an entire industry out of work.
They sure are.
And it's not just those. I mean, just you talk about audiobooks and the actors that do the audiobooks, they're being put out of work because AI can now do it.
Well, just think of this: when the internet came in, what did it do? It pushed out the newspapers.
Yep.
My dad got so mad. He goes, "These damn internets, man, taking my newspaper."
Yep.
I was like, "Dad, I still have to get a tablet."
And I still, if I know that the local newspaper here in London, Kentucky, is going to be doing a story on something that's happening, I go and buy the physical copy and I file it away. I don't trust.
Yeah, it's
the online. It's great to have the online version. That's wonderful, but I go buy the hard copy version and I file it away.
Right.
And it's funny because my son, who's 22, he was all about streaming and all of these things, and he's now back to wanting to buy DVDs and CDs.
Basics.
He wants that hard physical copy of what he's doing, and I don't blame him. I do too. I mean,
now what about this? Let's add this to that. We all want the hard basic copy of a dollar bill.
Yes,
but that's going away.
Yep.
I mean, now when I get a $20 bill, if I break it, it's toast. Just like, they say now, like how much it costs to make a penny is 3 cents.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, if you go back to biblical, when the card was introduced, everything's going away.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And and I know this is not really ghostly or creepy.
No, this is what
it is kind of creepy. It is kind of creepy when you start thinking about it. When you look at where we're headed and what's going on at a national level, and then as it trickles down, it's becoming a very, very frightening landscape for those of us who are sitting by going, what the hell is actually happening right now?
Yeah. And then there's a lot of us doing that, like, what the hell? Especially the older generations. Like, is these kids that stupid? Like, yes, Mike goes, technology has allowed us to discover and prove what we are talking. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Roger goes, humanism
is the future.
Is the future. You're right. The ball is already rolling. And there's no stopping it. Computers and technology embedded in our bodies. Bingo. Chips in the body.
Yep. And that brings up a whole other issue, and
right.
And not just ethical, but spiritual and spiritually and morally. That brings up a different kind of conversation.
Oh man. And it's just like, the COVID came out and it changed the world. for paranormal. I don't do a lot of residential cases because people don't trust people now. But when these evil things called the booster shots came out, news just the other day, not Pfizer, but the other one,
Moderna.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the death one. Now, I never had COVID, but I was in a healthcare down in Kentucky. I was in Nicholsville, and I was signing in, and this little lady sitting there, she goes, I had my mask on, and I'm signing in to have to do my temperature and all that. She goes, Sonny, are you wearing a mask? And I turned around, and what I saw was not her. I saw my mom sitting there, and it touched my heart.
Yeah.
And, at the time, it's like, when COVID's out, it's about Donald Trump and, this. And I was like, I was never going to get it. I had a big head. But then I went and says, you know what? I'm getting the shot.
Yep.
I didn't have to for work, but I'm honest, I did. And I went to our local Walgreens here, and I got the Pfizer shot. I got booster 1. I got booster 2. And then they kept telling me, oh, you need to get this and this. And I'm like, no way, no more. No more. I don't even get the pneumonia shot. I don't get the flu shot. Because back in the day when we were kids, we used to gnaw on lead paint.
Right.
So why do I need the flu shot?
And what's funny, I got the vaccine as well. And I did it not so much for myself, but for my parents.
Right. That's exactly where my heart was.
If I were going in to see them, and I didn't see them for about 6 months when COVID hit. But I took the vaccine, and I wanted them to, but I still would wear a mask when I went in, and all. Oh yeah, and respectful. It is what it was.
I'm not going to sit here and debate and cause an argument like a lot of people did. But that just wasn't.
I also served for about 2.5 years as the director of marketing and public relations for a hospital. Here in Virginia. Well, in Virginia. I'm not here in Virginia now. I'm actually in Kentucky. But one of there were 2 things that we had to do if you want to stay employed. Number 1, you had to pass the CPR training. Everybody at the hospital had to have the CPR training, and you had to pass it. And number 2, everybody had to get the flu vaccine. That was mandatory. You knew that when you signed the contract.
Sure.
Those were 2 things you were going to have to do. The funny thing is, I had never had the flu until I took the vaccine. And then both years that I was there, when I took the flu shot, I got sick.
See, I'm not putting it in me. I just can't.
I just can't. It's one of those things. It's like, and I know it. People say, "Oh, that's crap." No, it's not. I never had the flu before, not like this. And it.
Now they say too. I've never had it, but they say like when people get it, it feels like there's a big brick in their arm. It's painful. The other arm, you feel it in the other arm.
Well, and I will say that both times I had I actually had the Moderna. I had the 1 and the 2.
Gotcha.
And in my left arm, and it hurt like a mother. I'm just going to say. I mean,
right?
It did
because you're putting sickness in you.
Yeah, it hurt, and it hurt for days.
Right. And every time I go into my doctor, she goes, "You're due for your flu and pneumonia." I said, "Nope. Let me tell you, you worked for me." That's what I told her. I was like, I'll tell you when my body needs.
I need a shot.
Right. And I don't need that. And she goes, it's the older people that she says gives her the hard time, because the younger generations, they're just like, because they all read on it on their phone. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I should. So you're going to believe everything you read.
Mm-hmm. Which is always a problem.
Which is a big problem.
Yeah, it really
especially when people go on Google search and they read the first thing. And they believe that that's the true story. But no, you actually got to go pages and pages and pages to find the truth.
Yeah.
Like, don't believe everything you read at first.
Yeah, that's what I've always told my news producers when I manage radio stations. I'm like, I will go to hell and back for you as long as you vet your information. The minute you don't vet it and you report it, that's the minute I don't stand beside you. Because
right.
your information. You have to vet your content. You have to vet who you're talking to. Make sure
exactly, because now they have so much. They have so much to go to get their information, but make sure it's the real deal.
Exactly.
Don't be. I'm not going to say their names. I may get stopped right here on some of these. Well, because ever since we started talking about the Mothman, all things creepy, it's like in limbo. It's not going to let me spit it out. But Travis, where can people find you to get more information on the Mothman and stuff like that?
Yeah. You can look on Facebook, Dark Wings the Movie on Facebook. They can find me personally on Facebook, Instagram. I have an X account, but I very seldom use it. I don't even know the last time I posted anything there. But would love to hear from anybody with their Mothman stories, if they have any, or questions about Mothman. And I'm hoping that you and Patty and maybe a few other folks will come down and meet us in Point Pleasant that weekend in September. Matthew, my cousin, and his wife are going to drive up from Virginia and meet us. So I think it would be a cool time.
Sure.
So
sounds good. I was looking. No, that's a day that we have to be at Waynesville for our paranormal class, but that starts at 7, so we can come early.
Well, yeah, we'll do the early because it's going to be a day trip for us. We're going to shoot up that morning, and go to the Village Pizza and get the Mothman pizza and grab a couple of beers, and everything will be cool.
Cool. Well, buddy, thanks for coming on tonight.
It has been my pleasure.
It was great to catch up, and we got to get back down to you guys. I love London. Right. Jim said that he went down to Gatlinburg and he drove through on the way back because he stopped at. He didn't know because I told him, but he stopped there in London. When we were there, he buys the walking shoes. Brooks is the brand.
Yeah.
And he bought them there when we did the Battlefield. And he's been going back ever since.
It was funny. I was talking today. I did a Facebook Live video with the chicken for the Chicken Festival.
Sure.
And it was actually a girl who had been to the ghost hunt that we did at Levi Jackson Park.
Oh,
and
nice.
She was like, and it was the first time I met her. She goes, I know you. She goes, and we did this ghost hunt. And I think I might have hugged you because I thought you were my dad. I said, that was not me. You did not hug me. But it was funny. She was talking about how much fun she had there at Levi Jackson.
Yeah, we had a blast down there. We always do down in there.
Yep. We're gonna get you guys back. I just got
it'd be fun to do something to recap. Yeah,
I gotta make some things work a little bit. So
sure.
And grateful for you guys having us on, and extremely grateful that Black Caesar Pirate King Productions was able to sponsor this particular production. So thank you very much. Anytime you want me back on, if I'm of interest to the audience, I'll be more than happy to come on.
I think you are, because you've intrigued a bunch of people. So yeah, you've intrigued my social media. I need to figure out. I hope Spotify's running. So
just let me know and I will join in anytime.
All right. Well, thanks again, Travis, for coming on the show tonight. And we'll catch up soon, buddy.
Sounds good.
All right. Have a good night.
My best to Patty and the crew.
Will do, buddy. I'll let them know. See ya. Guys, that was Travis. Appreciate everybody coming on tonight. I'm going to type his name in here so you guys know. Travis Shortt. You find him on Facebook. It's 2 T's, not 1. Thanks again, everyone, for coming in and supporting us. Thanks to Black Caesar Pirate King for presenting this episode with Travis. And guys, have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next Tuesday here on All Things Creepy with Ghostly Travels. Have a great night, guys.